Sex is a beautiful gift created by God for a man and a woman that have vowed to spend their whole life here on earth together. Ladies, I want you to understand this. I am not suggesting that you use sexuality to manipulate your husband, withholding sex when you don't get your way, or lavishing him with it when you do get it. That is manipulation. I'm trying to make you understand why you should embrace this fact that there are many forces in your husband's environment that uses sex to garner his attention. They are still in the power that God intended for you. So instead of sitting passively, rise up and claim what is yours. And it's funny how Satan consistently twists into evil what God designed for good. Have you wondered why sexual immorality has been one of Satan's most effective weapons to bring down fervent men of God? By God's good design, a man has a strong sex drive. And when it has been harnessed and intensified within marriage, it can be an incredible force which fastens a man's affections and passions to his wife. I believe that it is right and godly to claim your husband's sexual desire as a potent source of influence in your marriage. This power was intended for you and for you alone, for no one else. And unfortunately, if you don't claim it, someone or something else will. You can spend so much time fretting about and avoiding sex that you miss the obvious. So while acknowledging that sex is a huge force in your husband's life, don't neglect the fact that God created that force for your use as well. In fact, you should become jealous and possessive because of the power inherent in your husband's sexuality. It is meant to be yours. It was intended for you. You know, the story of Samson in the Bible has always intrigued me. You can find it in the book of Judges from chapter 13 to 16. The whole story of Samson. Samson was a strapping young man whose attention was seized by a beautiful Philistine woman. And then he got entangled with her. 3 consecutive times, Samson lied to Delilah about the source of his strength. And 3 times also, Delilah betrayed him. Yet, Samson stayed with her, and then he eventually confided the true secret of his prowess. As strong as Samson's muscles were, his sex drive appears to have been stronger. We often look at a man's sexual desire as a weak link, the Achilles heel. As with Samson or David, the promise of fleeting pleasure has the power to strip him of all that he values in life. However, what can be the source of evil can also be a source of great good. Just as twisted women are able to pull men into sin, virtuous women can also use the influence of sex to call men to morality, love, and godliness. In Exodus 34, verse 11, do not worship any other god, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. Notice that in this verse, God tells the Israelites that his name is jealous. And funny how we often think about jealousy as a bad quality. So why would God define himself as jealous? The same applies to your sexual relationship with your husband. You should be jealous of your husband's sexuality. It was designed for your pleasure and intimacy. The power of its sexuality was also designed for your influence in his life. Through his sexuality, you have a powerful place in your husband's life that should belong to you and you alone. It sets apart your relationship as distinctive from every other person in his life. No one can share that with him as you can. So instead of lamenting the compelling textual appeal of pornography and co-workers in your husband's life, focus your energy on reclaiming the influence that is rightly yours. It is your gift. It is yours, so get it unwrapped. Luke 16:8 says, "And his Lord commended the unrighteous steward because he had done wisely. For the sons of this world are of their own generation wiser than the sons of the light." In the Bible, women like Esther, Tamar, Bathsheba, they were wise enough to use these gods given weapon to transform the story of their generation. Fulfilling your husband sexually encompasses so much more than the physical act. It means inviting his sexuality into your marriage. It means embracing all that he is, his hopes and desires. It includes wanting to fully understand him and welcoming the sexual appetite that expresses his masculinity. It involves striving with him through weakness and temptation, and covering his fears and failures. No magazine, no co-worker, no porn site should be his teammate and confidant. That is your place. That is your power. This is your gift. Get it unwrapped. Like many wives, you may be desperate to work on your marriage. You may be longing for your husband to read relationship books with you, or attend marriage seminars, and of course literally take notes. You may desire to see him change certain behavior. If you really want his attention, walk with the way God designed him. Yeah, I know a great sex life will solve the problems in your marriage. However, it will fortify your husband's desire and commitment to work towards intimacy. Your sexual relationship may be the on-ramp to communication, conflict resolution, and building the emotional intimacy that you long for. No amount of nagging, pleading, talking, or counseling can grab your husband's attention the way his desire for you can. Just look at advertising companies. No approach is used more frequently or more successfully than sex appeal. Why aren't you using it in your marriage? And for those here single, remember the saying, "What buy the car when you get mail for free?" Premarital sex is very unhelpful in singleness, especially if you want to be married, because it leads to long periods of dating without commitment.